Hey, happy Monday and happy Labor Day. I don't really have a Labor Day message for you today, but I mean, I guess it is a little bit. I want to first off, I want to say thanks for being here. Thanks for spending your Monday morning with me, and maybe your Labor Day morning with me. Um, I like to start off the week strong, and today is actually kind of a double, I guess, a double whammy, triple whammy, right? Right, because we've got a holiday, we've got a Monday, and we've got the first of the month. So it really feels today. It feels like kind of a new beginning, a fresh start. So I like to start off the day strong. I like to start off the week strong because I think that the way you start really sets the tone for the way you finish and what you do in life and how you move forward. And so, what I want to do is hopefully give you a little bit of motivation today that will inspire you to take action, which eventually will lead to transformation. Because motivation is great. It's like that old saying, right? Motivation is like taking a bath, right? It doesn't last, but I still recommend it daily. So, so hopefully I can get you to a little bit motivated and inspired to take action, and that will lead to transformation because that's what we're really after, right? So, last week I talked about persistence, and I believe that persistence is really the only 100% guarantee of success. But, I talked about one of the really key things to persistence is having a compelling future. And what I mean by that is you got to have a clear vision of what you're actually working toward. What you're actually wanting to not just accomplish, but where you want to be and who you want to be when you get there, right? Because we can accomplish all these things, but who we become in the process is what really matters. That's what's really meaningful in the long run. So I wanted to go a little bit deeper on that today because unfortunately there's so many people that are trying to accomplish their goals, but they don't even know why. As crazy as that sounds, and I know I've been there. So I'm not throwing stones or anything. I've been there. I've really struggled with clarity at times. But I want you to remember that in order to grow, you have to get on the other side of that obstacle. That's where your next level is. Whatever is in your way, you got to get through that obstacle. You got to get over that mountain. You got to get through it in order to get to that next level. And so many times, unfortunately, people will stop before they push through. They'll stop before they find a way to get over that obstacle instead of really finding what I like to call a compelling future that pulls them through. And this is one of the things that I teach my clients and my students is the difference between push power and pull power. And I'm sorry if you heard this before, but I really want to talk about this because push power, it's really the energy or the focus that you use to push through the situation or to push through an obstacle. But here's the thing, it's just sheer willpower. Push power is sheer willpower. Now, don't get me wrong, willpower is important, but the problem is that it runs out. Willpower will run out. So you can think of willpower or push power as kind of the fire starter or the kindling when you start a campfire. It burns really bright for a minute or two, but it's going to go out. It doesn't have something really significant to burn. But the pull power comes from your compelling future, something that you're really looking at. You're kind of projecting yourself into the future and creating this pulling force. It comes from having this deep emotional understanding of not, like I said, not just what you want to accomplish, but where you want to end up and who you want to be when you get there. So the pull power you can think of as kind of the big logs that you put on a campfire that once they light, they'll continue to burn and burn. And you're looking for that fuel that just won't go out. That's the point. So, I'm actually one of the leaders in a troop called Trail Life. It's kind of like Boy Scouts. But last year, me and my son went, and a group of guys and and their sons, we went for a camping trip. And they're really struggling. The boys are trying to start this fire, and they're doing great starting the fire, but they're really struggling to keep it going because they're using the tinder and they're using the kindling and everything. And it'll blaze up and then it goes right back out. And they're really having trouble getting it going. And I was thinking about that concept of, well, they've got the willpower, right? They've got that initial drive to just for the flame to start up, but if you don't have the compelling future, if you don't have that vision that's pulling you forward, that can really ignite and start to burn continuously, then it's just going to fizzle out. You can also think of it. I also like to think of it as kind of like a Jeep getting stuck in the mud. I grew up kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and we had friends who had Jeeps. And I like to think of your willpower as like the wheels of that Jeep. You can hit the gas and probably make some progress, but eventually you're going to start to spin your wheels and you're going to start to dig yourself in deeper. And that's the problem with only operating with willpower, is eventually, without a compelling future, without something pulling you forward, without that pull power, you're actually going to make it worse. You're actually going to start to dig yourself into a rut, and you get more and more stuck. The more you try to just use the willpower, the more stuck you're going to get. But what if you had a winch on the front of the Jeep, and you attach that to a really strong tree? And once you anchor into your strong, compelling future, that winch of your compelling future is going to pull that Jeep. It's going to pull you out of that being stuck. It's going to pull it almost effortlessly. And that's the true power of the compelling future. So yes, you need willpower, but you're going to run out. You got to have a compelling future, and you got to have a vision to help keep pulling you forward. There's a verse in the Bible that says, without a vision, the people perish. So it's just going to fizzle out. You're going to have that initial drive to get it done, and it's just going to disappear. So how, we've been talking about, you got to create your compelling future. You have to create this vision, this compelling future to pull you forward. But how exactly do you do that? And here's the thing. If you don't have one right now, first off, I want to say it's okay. This is something that you have to be intentional about. And if you haven't done it up to this point, don't beat yourself up. Okay. In fact, congratulate yourself that you're here taking action, that you actually want to create a compelling future. I'll be totally honest with you. I did not have a compelling future for most of my life. So congratulate yourself and really celebrate the fact that you're here and you want to create this compelling future. You want to create this magnetic force that pulls you toward your goals, instead of just having to use the sheer willpower to just keep pushing forward. So I want to show you real quickly how to do this. So the first step to creating your compelling future is you have to allow yourself to dream and to just kind of fantasize. And I know wherever you're at, it might be difficult for you right now, especially if you haven't dreamed in a while, if you haven't allowed yourself to really dig in. I know that's how me and my wife were after my son got diagnosed with cancer at 8 years old. Is we got so far into this survival mode that it was very difficult for us to dream. It was very difficult for us to see anything past the crisis that was going on right now. But you have to be able to allow yourself to dream. It's critical to be able to imagine an amazing future. And if you can't imagine something incredible, just imagine something a little bit better. Okay. Just these small steps will lead to giant results, right? Little tiny shifts lead to huge results. If you think about it, like an airplane, right? And it takes off from California and it's going to fly to Hawaii. You have to have a trajectory, right? You have to have a path that you're going to follow. And the thing is, if the airplane is off just 1 or 2 degrees, 1 to 3 degrees, then you could end up hundreds, if not thousands of miles from Hawaii by just a small shift. So think of your life in these small little shifts. So just a 2 to 3 degree shift can make a massive difference in your life years down the road, or even months down the road. It happens quicker than you think. So start with allowing yourself to dream. Really discover your dreams. So start by writing down all the crazy dreams you have. And don't worry about what people say. Just open up and let it flow. Just let it go. Second thing is you're going to take a few of those dreams and you're going to find the core values that are most prominent, that are really part of those dreams. Is it whatever it is? Is it independence? Is it freedom? Is it honor? Is it significance? Whatever it is, just write down your top 5 core values and see how they connect to your dreams. And it's really important to understand the why of what you do so that you can actually lean into that. Most people focus too much on the what and not near enough on the why. But if you start with the reason that you do what you do, then everything else becomes easier. Everything else becomes compelling and it's magnetic. The third thing is to take your dreams and your values and imagine the legacy that you want to leave with those. What do you want to be known for? For some people, I'll tell them to write down their own eulogy. So think about yourself after you're gone, and what do you want people to say about you? What impact do you want to leave on the world? What do you want to really leave behind? And then with your dreams, your values, and your legacy in hand, it's time to really experience that compelling future right now. Here's the thing. Did you know that when you vividly imagine something, your brain actually reacts this exactly the same as if you were actually experiencing it? True story. So think about it. We've all imagined like the worst case scenario, right? When someone we love is out late and hasn't called. And we're thinking, what happened? Did they get in a wreck? Are they ignoring me? What happened? But we experience it like it really happened, right? Even though maybe their phone died and they couldn't call, right? But we're experiencing that moment. We're experiencing the pain in that moment. So whatever you vividly imagine, you experience it just like it's really happening. So what I want you to do is take a moment to close your eyes, and I want you to create a picture of your life in 10 years. Where are you living? What are you doing? Take that picture. What does your house look like? Who's around you? What are you doing for a living? Are you on stage? Whatever it is, picture this in your mind. And like I said, if you close your eyes, it really helps you to be able to focus because it cuts out some of the other distractions. Then find a scene, a specific moment in the future. Is it a holiday or a family gathering? Are you standing on a stage? Are you on an exotic vacation? Are you walking down the beach? Whatever it is, just think of that specific scene in your mind and really start to feel it. Now start to see the sights, start to hear the sounds around you, and start to smell the smells, feel the air or the sun on your skin. And I want you to really go deep. I want you to really feel this and anchor yourself into that. And then go even deeper and allow yourself to really attach and feel the emotions of that moment. Feel the joy, feel the freedom, feel the connection and the love. But don't pull back. Allow yourself to really have this gift of being able to experience this compelling future. Now, where you're at right now, where you've created this picture, you've found this scene, you've attached your emotion, you've felt deeply where you're at right now, your brain doesn't know that it's not real, and it will do everything it can to help you get there. The only goals or compelling futures we will ever reach are the ones that we're connected to emotionally. Emotions are the energy that drive us every day, whether we want to admit it or not. Now, I used to always think that I wasn't an emotional guy. But then I realized that we're always experiencing emotions. I would experience pretty regularly, I would experience anger and frustration and indifference. All of those are emotions. It just depends on which emotions you want to live by, right? So we're all emotional, and emotion gives you power. Emotion gives you energy. So then the last step, once you've taken all that, and while you're in this state, while you're seeing and experiencing and feeling your compelling future, now it's time to write your story. Write the story of your compelling future. Tony Robbins says, change your story, change your life. And it's so true. The story that we tell ourselves in our head is eventually the story that we're going to live out. Or maybe it's the story you're living out right now. But in order to get to the compelling future that you want, in order to really create that pull power, you have to have the compelling future. You have to be able to connect your emotion, and you have to be able to change your story. It's time to stop living the old story. It's time for a new story, one with a compelling future. And once you can really do this, I promise you, you will be unstoppable. And hey, if you're a real estate professional and you want help to realize your compelling future quicker, instead of having to go through this all on your own, if you want to learn how to stop relying on push power or sheer willpower, and you're ready to design your compelling future, and that something that will pull you toward your destiny, just click the link in my bio and set up a free discovery session. Let's find out where you are and how to get you where you want to go quicker if we're working together. Thank you for spending your Monday morning with me and your Labor Day. And thank you for watching this on replay. Thanks for coming back and watching this. Take some time today to design your compelling future. Like I said, today, take a little bit of time and start experiencing that pull right now, like it's happening now. Thanks for being here, and until next time. Bye.